this up before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Bye.
live. Okay. You can always get another drink during our.
Yeah, this
during
is
our
my
work here.
first,
Okay.
but I want it to be a bit bigger than this
Yes.
before I
Okay.
start.
So, we'll just go over a couple things that have become clear. This is really fascinating, and that is that Stacey Abrams is not conceding. She's demanding that all of the votes be counted. So this will just make for a very interesting next stage. I'm sure it's going to provide a beautiful reading for you and maybe some channeling for me regarding like where are we going to go with that. I mean, who investigates these things that they go wrong, and what's the recount going to look like? Does that mean everybody starts over against two people versus, we don't really know what that means.
No, I guess at the lowest level, it's a simple recount, whatever that might look like. Rather than going to the polls again, if you see what I mean. That's more likely to be the case. But the point is she's made a very dignified stand. She's talked about the election meddling and theft. Let's not dress it up.
Yeah.
Theft. And I think she's just going to hold out. And if there's a legal repercussion, she's out. Go Stacey Abrams.
She's putting their feet to the fire one way or the other. I think that's a real positive.
It's like the early civil rights stuff. And
sure.
You've got to look at every single angle, because there's always another obstacle to that happening. Even after the legal things, people would always make it difficult.
Yeah.
For minorities to vote and Indigenous people to vote. So this is part of a bigger picture, and she's so inspiring. So I think that's a good news story.
Comments yet, but maybe people really expecting this, right?
Yeah.
Never know.
So, can someone put up some comments?
Say hello if you're out there, just to make sure our
So
technology juices are going in the right direction.
Top chat.
Yeah, we're not number one in technology necessarily.
Yeah.
So just let
But
you know.
we're here, and we found out we're going live. We're live streaming in Bondi. We're broadcasting from Redfern, and there's deep historical connections in Redfern with the Indigenous people of the Gadigal Nation around here and the Aora people. And so I think we're honoured to be here in Redfern.
Right. It's like a few of those out there. Good.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
And
hey,
go
Nicole.
Bondi. Go Bondi.
Go Bondi. Go Bondi. Right. So again, Stacey Abrams is not conceding, which is really awesome. I just think that is
full marks to her.
Yeah.
And I think this is a 2-year issue, like I was just talking about before.
Yeah.
She'll hang in and just quietly do that. And why not? Because she was robbed. She was robbed of
and at the very least
votes to win.
He'll have to explain his last remarks that Democrats were trying to hack him or something like that. He is going to make quite a fool out of himself, showing everybody that doesn't really have any basis to that. And he's also having to defend him depriving people of lots of votes.
Totally. And for those who might not follow American politics really closely, her opposition, the guy who's winning, he's in charge of looking at voting integrity. He's the one who stopped the 340,000 residents from voting. Enough. She would have had a clear lead.
She would have, right?
And they've done that in so many states.
Now we're still keeping a look out for Montana and Wisconsin. Montana's Senate race is still up for grabs, apparently. Wisconsin's governor is also still up for grabs. It looks like in Arizona, Martha McSally is beating Kristen Sinema by just that could still. I think that is still open. Florida.
This is still going on in Florida.
Wow, and Florida is very close to.
It's been like this all day.
Rick Scott is 50.3. Bill Nelson is 49. Wow. August King in Maine, who's the independent.
The races between DeSantis and
yeah. King is an independent one. That looks like
Is he the right king? Am I saying the wrong king?
That's a wrong king. This is in Maine. This is
Sorry,
Angus King.
Sorry, Angus.
Yeah, it's Angus King, not the other king.
No, the other guy's really bad.
He's independent.
Stephen King. He's Stephen King.
Nevada's governor, Walker. It just barely. This is 2.2%, is going for Evers right now. I mean, Walker's got to go, man. I mean, nothing good to say about him.
Okay. And just back to the comments, Citadel commented, it's been so blatant about participation on every level. He's worked at it professionally. He's had teams working on keeping people voting. And so it's the point she's making, and the point I keep returning to, is it's a perfect case to go forward legally.
Yes.
Because not only is it blatant, there's areas of illegality where they'll get a smack, but a lot of the worst stuff was legal.
Yes.
And that is what needs to be exposed, talked about, and dealt with, not just the legal stuff. So you need the court case to give it publicity and oxygen.
Right.
But I think the real work, like repairing America in general at a federal level, the real work is in people taking stock of what are their core values. And most people don't want to see, their names drop dead and walk over their bodies because they didn't have enough health insurance.
Yes, yeah. We'll see what the economy brings us in the next couple of years and how those tax cuts work out for everybody. That's going to be definitely on the ballot in the next 2 years. That is going to be along with the huge debt that's being created.
But I think the Democrats too have to have the vision and come up with some solutions to offer people, not just identify the problem.
Right, and kind of have these big personal issues, but
don't talk about the environment unless you're talking about creating green jobs in that same conversation, because it's really important to stop toxins being dropped into rivers and all that stuff. But people vote via, does it give me a job or not?
Yeah.
But people equally don't care about dirty or clean industries if they want jobs. So like Labor in Australia and Labor in the UK and many countries in Europe, green jobs are actually the way to go.
It's absolutely the way to go, but it's more long-term than short-term.
Yes and no. It's often already happening, but the figures don't get out there.
Right.
So in Australia...
And they don't have power.
Yeah, well, they do and they don't. But that's another conversation. But in Australia, there's a very big deal at the moment about the Adani coal mine that's been proposed in Queensland, biggest coal mine in the Southern Hemisphere. You start building it now, right? When the rest of the world is trying to roll back. Dodgy financing, everything about it's stupid. All its runoff would go onto the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
One of Australia and the world's greatest treasures. So 1 second.
We're going to break in here.
Oh, yeah, break in.
Washoe County is looking good for the Democrats, which is chosen over Heller. So
good, and Heller is particularly evil, so that is such
a little bright line there in the Senate for us.
A great result.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Okay, back to the report. Sorry, viewers. Yes, it's Muller. That the mine would employ 1,200 people, and after a period of time, that would drop away because they'll have robot trucks and all the stuff they have in mines now too. All the shit's the Barrier Reef, but the Barrier Reef employs 70,000 people, not the 1,200 in the mines. The reef generates work for 70,000 people. So until local governments, state governments, federal, start to realise the economy is the reverse of what they're trying to protect.
And what happens when the reef goes?
What happens when the reef goes? We lose tourism.
People, go and get a job. It really is crazy. Right. And again, it does look like Clark County, we're looking at Helen and Rosen, right? And they are showing, okay.
Oh, sorry, I've just got to break in here. There is someone saying, tired of hearing that the Democrats don't have ideas. They do, but the propaganda media doesn't allow it. Okay, they needed to get it out more. Yeah. More of a megaphone, other means, other platforms.
And I don't want to suggest that the Dems don't have views, but they're not quite forceful enough for people to back them. Now, part of this is just the typical American short-term thinking. Oh, the money's rolling in right now. I could just borrow more. It'll be great. And we're going to have to deal with that for the next 2 years. We'll be paying a debt. Right. So I think that part of the Democrats' problem is their ideas are more organic and closer to a long-term thing. And that's difficult to articulate to Americans right now. So I think that the ideas are there, but they're not made as immediate as they could. Pre-existing conditions did jump the shark there. It did become the rallying cry in a sense.
Yeah. And that's important going forward. I think we'll be so much more going forward. Got to point out, Chris Kobach, guy, really awful guy, has been to cancer.
Good news.
And so what's happening in local areas and we've noticed from the comments too coming through, some people are getting hideous Republican people to represent them, and others are winning. And so it's important to keep the communication across the lines, to compare the two states.
Right.
And
again, we're going to be looking at this election, Republicans and Democrats, and seeing where this is all going. This is completely different than what one would have expected. People should have been running on economic issues on the Republican side, and they were not. They were running on the racial issues as before. That did bring them some victory. But on the left-hand side, some of the things that Democrats believe in, like just pre-existing condition, is a completely Democrat idea. That to get some traction, and let it be an example then, of what does get traction.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's what people voting cool issues, and there's different issues that you're voting on. Day to day, America's elections need to do is look at what's gone wrong and actually come out with working solutions. That's the point I was trying to get to. Working solutions. This isn't working. Let's do it like this.
So right now, it is looking like 44% for the Dems and 56 for the Republicans. So it does look like 56 for the Republicans. So it does look like at this point the Republicans picked up 2 more seats for their body.
Hate that, don't you hate that?
I know, it's tough to say it, but it could have been a lot worse, To a
certain extent, it doesn't matter because
it was
they won't
close.
get, in the sense that they won't get any policies through anyway to go to the Senate to sign. There'll be nothing to sign. There will be nothing, and they'll be working full time at getting rich.
In some sense, I think the Republicans will be there with their hands dirty all over whatever comes up. They really can't blame the Democrats if the balloon costs of the debt are so huge that the economy crashes. They can't say, well, it's all the Democrats' fault. No, they have some ownership of this. That might be ideal. I certainly didn't support George Bush, but in a way, his second 4 years proved what a failure all of his ideas were, and what a disaster Republicans can make when they deregulate and control the economy and pretend everything's okay.
Also, we should be reminded of how spectacularly in the Trump White House has been efficient. If he'd just chosen top-level people to carry out his hideous plan.
Yeah, he would have done well.
America, you know what? We cannot possibly let that go ahead. There have to be interventions happening.
Yeah.
You couldn't let the delirious Trump, the ill-informed ignoramus in the tighty-whities make these massive decisions that affect the world. You couldn't. You have to believe.
I think there are people managing him right now. That seems pretty clear. The real question is, did the American people on some level did not decide to just let him do whatever he wants. It's sort of like they're putting a check on him, not as much as a check as we might like, but a check on him.
Yeah.
I think maybe Americans don't want to. Not all Americans want to see an impeachment.
No, I just have always felt awful about the impeachment thing. Not that he didn't deserve it, God knows.
Right.
But it doesn't win friends and influence people, it's awful.
Yeah. And the next election is, within a month, this news cycle is going to be gone. We're going to be on to the next Trump crisis.
Well, hopefully the next Muller revelation.
The next crisis, hopefully it'll be a crisis that works for us. And I could see how that's going to really work. I could even see how the Republicans will be so busy dealing with the fallout from Trump in the Senate, they won't be able to appoint too many judges.
No, that's right. And something has to be done about these lifetime appointments.
Yes.
Sorry, I find myself saying all these things that could be seen as ageist. And look, I am not a spring chicken. I know. I don't look too bad in a good light, but this isn't a good light. The point being, what? There's time to move into that mental mode. Yeah. I think that's really important,
Yeah.
And yet, just get the young ones through, groom them up.
Right. Yeah, and you know, we have become very active.
Reclaim the word groom. It shouldn't just be related to
Gross
pornography.
stuff. Yeah.
They should be groomed.
Mhm. We have become really active. You know, politically, all of us have come to the forefront, I think. And that's important. It's really going to serve us walking in the next election. I think it's also our awareness of what people like Muller are doing is key.
And I think we really have to appreciate Muller. If he produces anything in the next 3 months, and we all think he's got a huge amount of stuff, obviously, but that will have broken land speed records, right? Everyone wants this from Muller. To have got it to the stage he's got is a miracle of industrious, committed, truly patriotic Americans of different political parties who are working there. And so all I'm saying is try to be patient. I hope it's very soon too. But be patient, because it's and then plateaus, and then there's layers to this story that are planted very carefully.
This is moving in a direction that is, I think, quite a good direction, right?
Very positive.
Also, very much the Republicans are wedded to Trump. So for the next 4 years going in the next election, they're either going to have to own or disown everything that he does and says, going into an election for themselves and for himself.
And I think we're going to see both.
And we know how well he treats his loyalties.
You really want to work for
that's
Trump.
going to happen.
Yeah, that's right. Nice
you know,
guy.
if you're a senator right now, you know how much faith do you have in Trump backing you up in the future, in your next election, where he's running against you potentially?
Look, in Australia, we went from having this very boring, safe political structure for years. Suddenly we've gotten to coups, right? We've had 7 prime ministers in 5 minutes. You know, like it's just ridiculous. Using things that weren't used for generations in our democracy, but someone found a loophole that you can depose, you know. So the point being is that these right-wing surges are going on everywhere. Right. And things happen in the middle of the night that you wouldn't have dreamt would happen. Right. And because you don't think it'll happen, you're not geared up for it. The thing about Trump, he is so despicable and vile, and I think in many ways unforgivable. He's moving into the unforgivable zone, and I forgive everybody. Look, he's so bad that people won't be able to hide behind half stories.
I think that's true. You have to choose. You have to really be a for or against it. There's no half-half kind of with Trump. Again, looks like Rosen is up, be above Heller for Nevada. Right.
Okay.
So that looks like one Democratic pickup. And this is Washoe County they're looking at right now. We're just checking in on CNN.
Nevada? I called something in Nevada.
Did you?
You tell me.
Yeah, they're looking at a bunch of different counties for Rosen. It does look pretty good for Rosen in Nevada. So that will be easier for Democrats. The tough seats for Republicans are not the seats now. They are the upcoming seats. And they're going to be very tough for Republicans. These were very tough for Democrats. All things considered, this was not a bad outcome. This was pretty good. I'm glad to say that. Looks like Mills is beating Moody, right? Okay, and ME, I have to ask him above Heller, which is all good, looking good.
Oh, that's because I actually called Heller in that race, so I'm thrilled to be wrong. I'm so thrilled to be wrong.
Yeah, right.
Go Rosen.
Go
Jackie
Rosen.
I think.
It does look quite good for her.
Good.
Unfortunately, it looks like Tester is, well, they're pretty close. We can't really tell the Tester.
It's less than 0.5%.
We can't tell whether it's
so many
Tester
of these races are like this. No wonder
That's
they
the
were
other
hard
thing.
to call.
That's the other
Like
thing.
Channel. Sorry, I just want to take a moment on that.
Yeah.
For tarot readers, clairvoyance, channeling, and stuff. This is why it has been so hard impossible to call these races. Because we read energy, and the energy is moving and ambiguous and stuff. And they're literally so close. Race after race, under 1%. 20 races that we've looked at. If not, 50 races.
Yeah.
We're talking 1%. They're so hard to call. So someone had a stiff hip and was going to vote and didn't bother, can make or break this,
Well, when we're reading, we're always kind of going on what everybody is creating right now, right? And what everybody's creating right now might be pretty close to 50-50. That could go either way. It could be really, really tough. Let's see. McSally does seem to be leading cinema. It looks like, however, Jackie Rosen is beating Heller.
Yeah, go Jackie Rosen.
Yeah, right on.
And
Jackie.
5%, which is a decent margin.
That's a decent chunk. At least that's way up. McSally is beating cinema by only, less than 1.0.
And meanwhile, Florida, the Scott Nelson, which could make a world of difference.
Really?
Experience.
Yeah.
It's so critical. And it's still 0.6 of 1%.
It's very close, right? Now, Connecticut governor's race has gone for the Republican. It looks like Lamont has lost.
2 seconds. But you know what? Connecticut governor, we're not talking critical here. We're
Maybe
not
not
talking
critical.
intensive care.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
it's all right. They can have that one.
Now, again, we want to let them know about Abrams.
She's closing in. I can't believe.
Wow. So she has refused to concede until every vote counted. There are very close,
more to that story.
and it looks like she's going to push it and have a recount, runoff. I wonder if in the runoff they just have the two leading candidates and someone has to get 51%. That might be the case.
I don't know.
You're the American? Yes, as the American. I think that's a term. Viewers, correct me if I'm wrong, but it might be that they automatically get a runoff because no one got 51%.
Okay, do viewers know the answer to that question?
Yeah, we'll see. I believe that is the case, but I could be wrong, and it may not be within the 51%. But regardless, I think she gave a speech, which she did not concede, and said that I'm going to be pushing this as far as it can go. She didn't say it in those words, of course. She's very eloquent, unlike myself, but she said it well. Now, Democrats are pulling ahead in Nevada for the Senate race, which is a little bit of good news. We are still seeing, it looks like, according to CNN, Republicans picked up 2, right? Jackie Rosen in Nevada has been declared a winner.
Oh, great.
So she has defeated Dean Heller. One thing that we all were really impressed to note that this has been an election about women.
There used to be a lot of resistance and had little victories and big defeats and big victories and little defeats, And then there comes a point where suddenly it all just falls over and everything changes.
Yeah.
It's like the Berlin things of people, being terrified and terrorized.
And you don't necessarily know that moment.
No.
You don't know the moment is just like I was in school and they were in wall. And I was like, who saw that coming?
And yet people have been fighting for it for decades. And many had given up the faith. And
right.
Anyway, it falls off. You do see this often with things. Northern Ireland, don't start me, viewers. It should be Ireland. There should be no North and South. Sorry, it's Ireland. Anyway, the point being, after 600 years of colonial fuckery in Ireland, all of a sudden, the Easter Accord was seemingly very quick. The point is, 600 years in the making. It was 40 years in the last incarnation. So I really hope in Ireland that the stories are kept alive, because I worry young Irish, like youngsters, sometimes when you don't know the proper stories, but it's important to keep history and move on for all parties. I know many people who keep telling me stories, about old Israelis and old Palestinians who used to live side by side, and if someone's kids were sick, you would take something to the other family. It was normal. And then the horrors that have been wrought by wars.
Yes.
I'm still on my first wine, so I won't go any more into that. The point being, it's the beginning of a struggle, and it might seem, oh no, I've got another 2 years of this, I can't handle it, fuck. No, that's Saturday night in terms of human history. So it's really important to remember that. keep your energy up.
Yeah, it's, you know, in our
Don't let them get you.
in our media age, we're all wanting a very quick result. And, you know, the minute we turn on the TV or anything else, it's amping our, I mean, I can feel my heart rate going every moment, you know. Be sure and take walks and, you know, do social things with people that are awesome like I'm doing right now. You know, be sure and do those things because you do need to rejuvenate or you will feel exhausted.
Yes.
And anytime you put your future happiness based on what the group does, you're always going to be someone unhappy. There's always going to be someone within the group who's not giving you what you need. You do need to feed your soul in the meantime. Lena and I, of course, trying to find a way to do both. You know, be interested in politics and feed our soul at the same time. We feel like there's a really important place for that. Now, here's a good question for you, Lena. What do you think's next? I mean, what's tomorrow? Like, what happens next? Do you think it's Muller? Do you think, what's up?
Okay, tomorrow being just around the corner, I think everyone needs a day off.
Okay.
Whatever their persuasion or whatever their zebra stripes. Really, please don't give us anything dramatic tomorrow.
Nothing dramatic.
Please.
Just a you know.
Praise the gods. Since watching Game of Thrones, I'm much happier with the gods with an S on there, pluralism. You know, so. Yeah, not too soon, but fairly soon. So that raises the question, will Muller reveal all between, say, now and Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving and Christmas, or is it after Christmas? It's like there's this...
there, right. Okay. Now, worst comes to worst. This election, this situation has opened the situation up for a lot of tarot card readings and a lot of channeling. We're really, really, really in business now with the work to do in terms of what is going to happen next for us. I mean, this is just, it's really an open.
Epic. It's epic stuff.
This is, you know, maybe we should go back to Game of Thrones. We've just like gone halfway through season 1 in my feeling.
Totally.
We haven't even finished season 1 right now. You know, it's like that we haven't even met Mother of Dragons yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like barely. We're still in that boring part where you're wondering if you really want to keep watching it. I guess we passed that a couple of months ago. We were watching now, but still, like, let's think of this as it's just chapter 1.
And ironic that a big part of Game of Thrones was the wall.
I didn't think about that.
I hadn't thought of it now.
Wow.
And there is the wall going on. And it's all symbolic. The wall in Trumpland is symbolic, just like it is.
Walls around your brain. I mean, it's just walls, breaking through the walls between you and another person. I mean, it's all about breaking down walls on some level.
Yeah.
In some ways.
So he gets these fantasy moments where he's now telling people, apparently, at campaigns, that he's building the wall. It started. You and I didn't know. Viewers, did you know the wall started?
It's actually started.
And it's going really well. It's
Right.
going really well.
Really
He
well.
stands up there and just says this shit.
Yeah, North Korea and him are doing great. Yeah, right. Iran, it's a great situation right now that they've put on more sanctions.
It's
the Iranians
breathtaking.
are never gonna get angry about that.
No. Why would they worry about sanctions?
Yeah. Now, Lena, you also have to tell.
Yeah.
And he's, of course, a con
We
man.
have to dig out that link.
Oh yeah.
A viewer sent it to me.
Oh right. Okay. I thought it was you posted
No.
This. Oh
A
man.
viewer
Well, if you
sent
take
it to
a
me.
look.
Thank you, viewers. I love you as you
Yeah. Take a look at if you just search Trump.
3 minutes, it's 5 minutes or
Yeah.
something, and I'll resurrect it somewhere
Okay,
from
yeah,
the
we'll
email
find it.
thing.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Donald Trump is the con man, and his name literally in the show is Trump. Wow,
And you
how
can't
it's like
believe
a
it.
premonition, and he's like, build this wall, and 100 people out. What? Because then they tell you, if you don't build the wall, you're all gonna die.
It's this
And
black and
really?
white. Yeah.
Okay. And it really works, you know, and
It's
they really believe it.
demented.
It is
We
so.
must find it.
It's quite eye-opening. It's like watching the Simpsons predictions of what the future was going to be like in
Totally.
Trump land. So let's see.
Oh, someone commented. Oh, it was Citadel, of course.
Yeah.
Love you, Citadel.
Yeah.
GOT is nothing compared with Trump. Now, that's a really true sentiment.
It's
the horrifying, you know, sobering reality is, oh my God, this guy actually lives and breathes, and he happens to have the nameplate on his desk, President of the United States.
Just to remember.
And
just
he's
to
a
forget.
sleazy clown with galloping dementia, who, for whatever reason, the Republicans think they should back.
Yeah.
What?
Well, now, I mean, viewers pointing out, you know, it's all Mueller time now. I mean, we don't know when it's coming, but it's definitely coming. He's going to be fending off this stuff right and left. The fact that we do have a Republican Senate, I mean, I think in a way that does give them ownership.
Yeah,
they are responsible.
I think that's a really good way of looking at it.
You know, maybe that's what's supposed to happen.
This is what they do when they've got control.
This is how
you
they
watch
act.
how the Senate acts. Okay, this is a Republican Senate for you. This is what it looks like. This is their priorities, which would be me.
Yeah,
you know, I just want to get rich off you.
Well,
it's
and
so
with the
backwards.
Dems controlling House of Reps, they can't steal any more money. I think that will pretty much put the kibosh on the hey, let's give all the money to the rich. They won't be able to pass anything like that now. They might be able to pass a bill for, you know, infrastructure. TikTok, we've all been waiting 2 years for that to happen. The stuff that was really going to benefit the middle class, that we're still waiting.
Let's talk about infrastructure for a moment. Okay, the two dramatic public infrastructure failures in there was that Amtrak accident. And there was a pedestrian wall bridge. I think it was in Florida. Let me know if I'm wrong. Now, what's interesting about those, they were both new. It was the maiden voyage of the Amtrak. And
no kidding.
The footbridge wasn't even finished. That's how new it was, viewers. Wow. It wasn't finished. Now, this raises the question. If you think I go crazy after the Depression,
right.
You employ people on decent wages, decent contracts. They spend money in the fiscal space. You prosper as a country. Do I have to solve everything, Doug?
I don't know, but I trust you to do so. Right now,
over to you, Doug.
Well, I'm not sure if we're going to get any more answers this evening for who's coming in for Senate. It looks like that certainly the Republicans have picked up 2 seats. We have seen some views that say 4 seats more for the Republicans. It's not yet clear. However, the did not keep the House of Representatives. All the real levers of the investigations, of subpoenas, of all these things, all the things that are going to keep Trump under some kind of control and accountable have maintained. And that is the most important thing that happened. I mean, we got 90% of what we needed, maybe not 100% of what we wanted, but we've got what we need to slow this down.
That's a really good
Somebody pointed out Nunez running like ew, but they also pointed out he's not in power now. So now maybe we can investigate Nunez instead of letting Nunez pretend to investigate the president. That's the important thing.
That's the next step.
Right.
This is where it's a game changer.
Yeah, it is a game changer. Right. And it's a big game changer in favor of the Dems for the House.
Absolutely.
Now, any other races we could talk about here?
So we're looking here, Gretchen Driscoll versus Tim Walberg in Michigan. It's pending. They're not saying.
We still don't know about Gretchen.
Who else have we got?
Now it does look fairly Republican. They are calling it, at least on website that we're looking at, fairly close to called for the Republicans.
Can we look at Tennessee? There's Jim Cooper versus Jody Ball.
Did that come out? Oh, here we go. Statistics.
I'm just checking your comments.
All right. And so you're asking about which race?
Tennessee. There's a Tennessee race in the House between Jim Cooper and Jody Ball.
Yeah, well, I'm not seeing it here.
Oh, I thought Josh Hawley, Republican, would win the Senate.
Really? Yeah.
Okay, what are we seeing here?
Can you get the live results again?
Well, we'll just go on.
Somebody said, hey, I thought Gretchen won. Right.
There's 2 Gretchens in Michigan. Okay.
And it does look like Scott Walker is losing. Right. We can't call it yet, but
no.
Yeah, it looks like Scott Walker is losing.
Scott Walker. What is he?
Georgia governor. Right. So Georgia governor is Abrams.
Yeah, back there. Right.
So for those of you who have not heard yet, She has not conceded. It looks like in the surface that she may be losing. However, she is not conceding. She's insisting that all votes be counted. She definitely came out very forcefully in saying that she's going to take this as far as she needs to go. So we're anticipating there could be a run. I don't know enough about Georgia to know certain, but I think 51%. There's a runoff, which would take away an independent who has to get a few votes, apparently from Abrams. But it may not be over. At the very least, it does seem rational that there be some kind of an investigation of suppressed voting rights. So this is not over in Georgia.
That's great.
It's not over, and that may be, again, one of those reasonably good things that happened, that we continue to debate this, and that the Republicans show their true colors in this Georgia race.
And I'd like to have a big shout out to Hawaii. Also, look, you so much to deal with, so all our love and prayers go to Hawaii. So all the best, and I'll get there as soon as I can. I love Hawaii.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna speak to some Hawaiians on Friday.
Any Hawaiians who are up at this time of the day or night, please get in touch.
Not sure if there was much election going on in Hawaii.
Right. Yeah, the thing was.
Colleen says aloha. Oh, hi, Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
Colleen with an R. Right? Yeah, there you are. Hey, Colleen's
That's fantastic.
The one I'm going to talk to on Friday. Right. So
Macy Hirono versus Ron Curtis for the Senate.
Yeah.
So I'll just look that up.
Yeah, let's take a look. Maybe we can find out. And people, if you're out there and you're ready to call,
knows the result, because that's the awful Mark Meadows.
Oh,
He's one of those four, you know,
His
Jim
favorites.
Jordan, Mark Meadows, and those guys. Really awful guys. So I'm hoping Philip Price, Dems. Does anyone know the answer? North Carolina, please get in touch.
Right. Let's see. Karen Handel, according to Elizabeth, is in Georgia with 100% of precincts counted as 57 vote lead.
Oh no!
Right, major recount territory.
Oh, that's so
wow, 57. Right. Wow.
Oh.
That's just amazing. Florida, Florida, Florida. It always winds up being this just just right down the line of Florida. We keep in mind Florida is rapidly changing, and it's going to the left, right? As it's becoming more suburban, more more family type stuff that might seem like a Republican direction, but in Florida it's a Democrat direction. It's just been a little bit different. Yes, and we are sorry to say that Beto lost. We want to congratulate him on a fantastic race. What a guy,
He's a hero.
Even if they lost, we still just have so much more respect for those guys. They have been, showing us the direction, I think, of the party. Right?
They are an inspiration.
And that is the most important thing about this election. It's showing us the direction of the next election, and that is very much against the Republicans. They're going to have seats up in the next election that are going to be very, very difficult to defend.
Totally.
Right? Much more than this was. This was a major success. Republicans did a lot of pressure trying to turn over some seats that really were Republican seats.
Just a comment from Kristen Aldridge, and this is going to be, I'm sorry, Kristen, I didn't read it quickly enough, but it was some criminal racist who just won somewhere. Oh, there it is. San Diego, 50th, went to a Republican criminal racist. Very sad.
Oh.
You know what's going to happen though? These mainly guys are falling over the line, and they're getting in again because of the rusted on voters. But they've got outstanding effective leaders, and they're not going to vote it in again.
Now, somebody just posted here, Beto may not have needed, maybe he shouldn't have conceded. It's being pointed out that 2.6 by Elizabeth, 2.6% with Ted Cruz. That's only a 2.6% lead, and maybe he shouldn't have conceded that all the votes are not
So what happens legal if you still get the numbers?
Oh, that means nothing. It's just a polite thing that you do to concede.
Okay,
for the
so
people who are waiting up to watch, but it has no legal meaning.
Can you imagine if we woke up to better?
Wouldn't that be
Can you
awesome?
imagine?
Wouldn't it be great if the 54 turned out to be a 52?
Oh,
That would be
no.
awesome. Right. No, sad boy, do not be depressed.
No,
This is a
and
win.
the same for Nanamu. Look, it's not a champagne night across the board.
Right.
Okay? That's
We
absolutely
didn't
right.
strike gold yet.
But you know what?
Right.
It wasn't a rout,
Mhm.
and that's not just being Pollyanna
Yeah,
about
it
things.
really isn't.
It's getting the House, a third of the arm of government, is
Right.
really important.
Mhm.
It's so important. It's
Mhm.
such a victory.
Mhm.
And the young things have shone through. And what's really important is the Dems who have done well are the radical Dems, not the centre Dems.
Right.
And they have a really strong case to take to the old guard. We all love and respect the old guard, but they have to move over.
On a spiritual level, don't you just feel like the fight is not over?
Oh, no.
We've had
no.
a battle, but the fight is not over. We're just really in the middle of this war, right? So,
yeah, I agree. Electra
Yeah.
Storm. I have some. Electra, I stayed with an Electra in San Francisco in 1978 or 9 or something.
Mhm.
I don't suppose that's you.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
It's like a Facebook moment.
Yeah. And great. Somebody's pointing out we're going to have awesome moments ahead of us. Yes, we are. We're going to have awesome times in the future. Then you know what? People are going to be writing about us for 100 years about the decisions that we make right now, how we participate in our society, how we show up. You know, how long did war last? Millions of people died under horrible dictators. You know, and now, I mean,
absolutely.
those things do change.
Yeah, and there's 300 million people who have to readjust one way or another. You know,
and we have to be glad in our lifetimes we're seeing these major changes. You know, in our grandparents' lifetimes, we wouldn't have seen, you know, women voting per se. We would not necessarily have seen equality at all in the America that my grandfather was born into at all. You know, there is progress, although it's not as correct, beautiful as we would like. That's just the way that things work, right?
Also, a conversation we were having earlier today when we weren't online was about with climate change and everything else in so many countries, including Australia and the US, just millennials think differently, and the Zers, they think differently. Their questions are really basic questions, like why did you go with a filthy fuel like petrol or coal?
Well,
they're not interested in this crap.
And the thing is the environment. You know, we're starting the environment. It's going to kick back a lot harder, a lot sooner. I just have always said that at one point have to reckon with this. I'm sure that it is going to be in our lifetime. For the younger people, it's going to be sooner in their lifetime that they are going to have to say, wow, here's this money I'm going to get today, but tomorrow, you know, there's going to be no food if I don't stop.
And we're resisting left the property. You dealt with your own shit, literally. You had outside loo, you know, and it was converted into compost, and other things were taken away, and everything was used and reused. This is not an abstractive thing that we've done.
That's true.
For centuries. It's the opposite of that. They used every single bit of metal, wire, plastic, cardboard, wool, thing, and
you're talking about household.
I'm talking about household and country. And then very quickly,
2,000 years, we haven't had to think about it in terms of how will it affect the environment. We think about how useful those things are in our present, but we haven't really put it out into maybe I should stop doing that because it's going to mess with our environment. Nobody has thought about that in a really practical, serious way. You know, you could look at a corporate body. They don't deal directly with their own trash. They make the public at large clean up. We haven't had a time to learn this.
I think the historical thing.
Catch you guys.
I'm in sociology, anthropology, and it's really not the case. There's been industrial waste for a very long time and stuff, but on a personal household level, no. It's happened really quickly, really suddenly, at the time of maximum expansion of all this stuff. You know, talk about whether someone could afford new purchases. It was a different world. And now we've got 10-year-old children going blind making sandals for us that cost $15 that we can buy and throw away. What is wrong with this picture?
Yeah,
that would be
very,
everything.
very true. I guess we don't know what the future is going to hold, but according to all the scientists that I am familiar with, we're going to be looking very soon at some pretty tough environmental times. I just think that is going to come to the consciousness of younger people. And insofar as it comes out for younger people, you're just going to go straight to cake, huh? Right, younger people, then we're all going to have to deal with in the future. I'd really appreciate it if some people who are a little bit older took this very seriously. I think they will be forced to because there will be changes. Right, so I'm not sure if we're going to get so many more results here in the in this particular spot. What do you think?
Let me go back to my other slide.
Letterrain, I'm not sure how to say that, but here's where you see the election latest.
Yeah, having a look. Hold on, everyone. That should be it. Let's see.
We get voting now?
Yeah. Do is look at the numbers and look how
Anything like it. Normally in election close races. This is so.
This is just every other one was so gosh damn close.
That's why they were so hard to read.
Yeah. Arkansas, it looks like Dunleavy is beating Begich just by well, actually, it does look like a significant number of points. It looks like 7, right? In Connecticut, the Republican has won. We're looking right now. What we're being given live is Senate 44 for Dems and 51 for Republicans. So they're not giving them the 54 points that they actually were giving earlier. And maybe this isn't so certain yet. Now, the House does look a little bit more certain. That's 214 for them so far, right? Which is more than they need.
And Stacey Abrams
still in the race.
Under 2% next to Kemp, which under the circumstances is extraordinary.
Right. Now, if you guys joined it, maybe while I look up, in Georgia, if you get less than 51%, does that mean a runoff? I think it does, but I could be entirely wrong. I'm not familiar with Georgia. She has 48.3% to Kemp's 50.7, right? So it is a call, I think, but it might just be recount time.
But particularly as the story has been very public leading into Georgia, there have been major overt abuses of legal loopholes and grubby stuff that was less clear.
Right.
But it's been flagged very early and repeatedly for Georgia.
Right.
So she has a really good
She's a very good
investigative work has been done.
Something has been done.
Right.
Right.
And it's certainly 2% makes it working. If she was behind by 30%, you'd go, look, it didn't matter what happened.
Right.
We wouldn't have run, right? It's a difference between 2% when hundreds of thousands of voters were impacted by bad practice. Not necessarily illegal, but bad practice.
Right.
National Electoral Commission. Remember that word, please, America.
All right.
And it needs to be a national task force.
Now, it does look like Mills has beat Moody, right? And that is for governor. That's
Maine. We think it's Maine.
We think it's Maine. ME is Maine. 55.
California is awesome.
Yes, it sure is.
Oh,
right.
Bless.
Yeah, it is. Right. Austria is awesome too, I have to say. Right. So Sisolak in Nevada seems to be beating Lex Salt. So the Democrat is a winner in Nevada governor race so far. Right? So just to have an update, if you did not know, Dems have taken the House pretty substantially. They have not taken the Senate. It looks like they're down at least 2-1. Did we read 51? I think actually a recent was actually 51. So they haven't done as well as was thought earlier. A few hours ago, it looked like maybe the Dems or the Republicans were at 54. This could be closer than we think.
And as Kansas Girl just pointed out, the Dems have gained so many state seats in deeply red districts.
Yes, right. This was a tough election for Democrats going in.
Be
We knew
proud of that. Is
We
what
should
she
be
said.
very proud. She's right. She's absolutely right. So let's see. 24 seats remain in the House. Right now, Dems are 214. Republicans are 197. Now, again, now we're being shown U.S. Senate is 44 Dem and 51 Republican. So
and 5 seats in
and
the
5
offing.
seats in the offing. So we don't know. We can't be certain where it's going.
Oh.
Wow, this is going to be
It's
very
gonna be
interesting.
close,
It's going to be a
whatever.
cliffhanger, right? We might have to leave it in a few minutes here. It may be that some of these things do not get taken care of. It looks like Georgia might be something. This could go on for months.
Georgia's going to go on for a year and a half.
You think so? Yeah, maybe it'll remain
And
undone.
it should.
And well, it should. Yeah, go
Like
Georgia.
even if they give it
Yeah.
to him and he becomes the active governor,
Yeah,
it's not going to be straightforward.
We're gonna
There
give
will
him
be other
give him some grease.
Yeah.
Really, right? So,
Bay Area is doing well, obviously.
Yeah.
Indivisible San Francisco.
yeah, right. So the House for Dems is wonderful, as has
Thank
been
you,
pointed
Councilor.
out. Yeah. So yes, and as has been pointed out, thank the candidates, win or lose, they did a great job moving the
They
ball
really
forward.
did.
They really did. I think that a lot of people out there, you guys too, did your all. You went out there and did your best to confront the orange monster in the White House and make sure that the investigation keeps going. And you succeeded. The investigation is going rock star. We're predicting how soon. Some of you viewers are saying tomorrow. I think it might be a good week. Could be a month, but we don't know. I don't think it's going to go till January 1st, though, right?
No,
Something's going to happen
no.
before January, right? We'll be doing some readings on that, right? So, when it tells them some last counts here
There's
before we
17 more Democrat seats at this point.
go? Right on. Okay. Now, remember, that means something important. That means they get to decide about the investigation. They have their leaders controlling the investigative bodies, so they can issue the subpoenas that need to be issued. It's going to be pretty complicated for Trump to get rid of Mueller now anyway. This throws another wrench in that complication, right?
And Mr. Lyle, who says, I'm disappointed in Missouri. What happened in Missouri? Please let us know.
Right. Yeah. So, great. So we're looking at Kemp now. It's 50.7. Abrams at 48.3. It's still not 51%. Right.
It's weird stuff.
It's really quite amazing. I mean, there were in the races where the Republicans won. They won by a hair's breadth.
Wow.
Time will tell in the next 2-6 years. Those things could radically change.
So San Fran's doing interesting things, and we're not picking up on it. So what's happening in San Francisco?
Right,
Please let
hometown.
us know.
Right.
Dave's hometown.
Yeah, I think this is California, so the results are going to be coming in for a couple of hours. We might not know for a while.
Okay, Citadel. Seems like the House wins. Absolutely crucial. Absolutely.
Now we're still getting Nevada, 49%, 49.7% for Sisolak. The Democrat, that's looking pretty good for Nevada, right? So if that happens, it would be 45 Senate Dems. And right now we're looking at 51 Republicans. Again, that is not as bad. I mean, we don't know how the race is going to end, but that is not as bad as some people are predicting. Right?
Okay, San Francisco, Duncan Hunter won.
Good for him.
McCaskill lost. I'll have a look at that. What else is happening?
Duncan Hunter. Rohrabacher. I think we saw Rohrabacher losing.
Oh, we hope so. What happened to Rohrabacher?
Yeah, I think we saw him losing by a point.
To Harley Ruder. Has Ruder
we saw him losing by a point. We could be wrong, but we're pretty certain that's the case.
Got it.
McSally in Arizona is leading Siena. Sinema, but by just a point and a half. It's getting pretty dang close.
So close.
Nelson and Scott. Now Scott is ahead. He's ahead by less than 0.1%.
Oh no!
Jeez, wow. I mean, that is unbelievable. Wow. Wow. Florida, man. And yeah, that we're just this is anticipation of the next event, sort of the first step to the big event.
Yeah.
It might be that it's really better for the country to take a step and instead of that might one state of chaos. I'm kind of thinking this might be a really good outcome. You know, you still have Republicans in enough power so that they have to respond in a legal way. That may be quite ideal.
There was this comment that Hunter a good guy. So that's another story.
I think I'm very remember. Unfortunately, I moved here 5 years. I'm a little bit detached from my California politics.
Urena, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, darling.
Urena. Right. Yeah, I hope Rohrabacher gets squashed. I'm pretty sure that did happen. Yeah, another Arkansas governorship is going to the Republicans. You know, the takeaway from this is Dems got the House. That's what we were expecting. That's what we got. We got it in a pretty decent, decent wave. It wasn't a tsunami, but it was a decent wave. It's what we all expected, and it's what we needed right now. Don't you agree?
Oh, totally, totally. It was so important that happened.
Well, I think we better sign off. I'm not sure that any more of this stuff is really going to come out in the next hour. We just like to, again, and, take some time to meditate and let all this stuff flow through you. The universe is changing around you, and it's changing really rapidly, right? Take some time, enjoy the community, understand that, we do have to be human through all of these things, right? That thing is us kind of becoming humans and learning. Good job, you guys. Thanks for voting.
Fantastic. And also, guys, thank you for the feedback constantly over this process. It's really kept us going. Otherwise, we would have probably stopped after an hour and a half or something. So it's your input that's really kept us going, and it's been fantastic.
Right.
So please look after yourselves. And there is enough cause for celebration.
Yes. Celebrate a little bit.
Celebrate a little bit.
Take a walk. Cheers to your friends.
Okay.
Thanks again for voting.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, see the last few comments.